Did you know New Zealand has a bird that forgets how to fly, or a town where glowworms light up caves like a galaxy? Have you ever heard of a country where the government created a special position just for a national wizard? Or how about the fact that there are more sheep here than people, and we're not talking by a small margin either? From mind-bending geography and extreme wildlife to social policies that might just make you question your own government, New Zealand is more than just beautiful, it's bizarre in the best way possible. So stick around, because in this video, we're uncovering 15 of the most bizarre and astonishing facts about New Zealand. And trust me, some of these will make you laugh, some will make you gasp, and some will make you want to pack your bags and move there immediately. 15. New Zealand, the land at the edge of the world. Welcome to the land that sits quietly at the edge of the world. New Zealand, far from the bustling cities of Europe and more than 1,200 miles southeast of Australia, New Zealand is truly one of the most remote developed countries on Earth. But that isolation has created a country unlike any other one that feels like nature's last untouched masterpiece. New Zealand is made up of two main islands, the North and South Islands, as well as over 700 smaller islands, many of which are uninhabited. In total, it covers about 104,000 square miles, which is just a bit larger than the U.S. state of Colorado. But while Colorado is home to over 5.8 million people, New Zealand has just about 5.2 million, making it one of the least densely populated countries in the world. What it lacks in people, it more than makes up for in sheep, 29 million of them, to be exact. That's almost 6 sheep for every human being, and yes, it's a running joke in the country. You'll see sheep dotting green hillsides almost everywhere you go. The people of New Zealand are called Kiwis, a nickname that comes from their national bird. Most of them are of European Pequot descent, but there's also a large population of Maori, Pacific Islanders, and Asians, creating a truly multicultural society. The country has 2 official languages, English and Maori. While English is more widely spoken, the Maori language has seen a massive cultural revival in recent years, especially among young people and in schools. New Zealand's terrain is stunning and diverse. Snow-capped mountains, rolling green pastures, tropical rainforests, volcanoes, glaciers, and pristine beaches, all within a few hours' drive of each other. The country experiences 4 distinct seasons, but they're flipped from what Americans or Europeans are used to. Winter falls between June and August, and summer is from December to February. On certain days in the South Island, you could ski in the morning and surf in the afternoon, all in one breathtaking adventure. 14. A real-life hobbit village. If you've ever dreamed of escaping into a fantasy world, New Zealand might be the closest thing to it. And nowhere is that more true than in the rolling green hills of Matamata, where an ordinary farm was transformed into something truly magical. Hobbiton. This isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a fully preserved movie set from Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit trilogies. Built into a working 1,200-acre sheep and cattle farm, Hobbiton has become a real village with 44 hobbit holes, complete with round doors, moss-covered rooftops, and tiny fences that make you feel like you've stepped into another realm. But it's not just about the looks. Everything here is made with natural materials, no fake props or plastic. The clothes hanging on the lines? Real. The vegetables in the gardens? Grown on site. The chimneys puffing smoke into the cool air? All functional. Even the Green Dragon Inn is a fully operating pub where you can order Hobbit-themed drinks like ale, cider, and ginger beer. Locals from the nearby town work here as guides, dressed in character, telling behind-the-scenes stories and sharing the deep connection that New Zealanders feel with this fantasy world. To many Kiwis, Hobbiton isn't just a set, it's a symbol of home, where imagination and nature blend perfectly. The Maori people even have a name for the area that means the home of little dreams. For over 1 million tourists every year, it's a chance to live in a fairy tale, if only for a few hours. 13. A land of bold, natural women. Forget everything you think you know about traditional beauty standards. In New Zealand, women define their own kind of beauty, and it's as natural and bold as the landscapes around them. Here, you won't find an obsession with makeup, designer clothes, or flashy cars. Instead, beauty is measured by confidence, strength, and authenticity. Women in New Zealand are fiercely independent, and many grow up climbing mountains, surfing waves, riding motorbikes, or hiking alone across national parks. They value comfort over cosmetics, often choosing sweatpants and hiking boots over high heels and lipstick. And it's not unusual to meet a Kiwi woman who can build a fence, gut a fish, teach a yoga class, and lead a boardroom all before lunch. New Zealand was also the first country in the world to grant women the right to vote, way back in 1893. Since then, it's continued to champion gender equality, consistently ranking among the top nations for women's rights and empowerment. In the dating world, Kiwi women are refreshingly straightforward. They're not afraid to speak first, plan a date, or even initiate a relationship. If they like you, they'll tell you. And while they don't play games, they do expect honesty and respect in return. So if you're looking to meet someone in New Zealand, forget the cheesy pickup lines. Just be yourself. Smile. Ask them about their favorite hiking trail. 12. Waitomo. An underground galaxy beneath the green hills of New Zealand lies a secret world, one that sparkles like a galaxy and glows in complete silence. Welcome to the Waitomo Glowworm Caves. These caves are home to millions of tiny glowworms, known scientifically as Arachnocompa luminosa, and they're found only in New Zealand. When you enter the cave, it's pitch black. But as you float deeper on a small boat, a soft light begins to emerge above you, spreading across the cave ceiling like a sky full of stars. The glowworms hang from the cave ceiling on silken threads, glowing to attract prey. It's nature's most beautiful trap and one of the world's most surreal sights. These caves were first explored in 1887 by a local Maori chief and an English surveyor. Today, they're one of New Zealand's top attractions, drawing over 1 million visitors every year. But even with the crowds, the tours are silent, peaceful, and meditative. No loudspeakers, no distractions, just the gentle sound of water and the quiet flicker of glowing light. The experience has been described as spiritual, magical, and even like drifting through the Milky Way. If you ever needed proof that Mother Nature is the greatest artist, the Waitomo Caves are it. 11. Natural spa services you can't find anywhere else in New Zealand. Relaxation isn't a luxury, it's part of everyday life. And the country's natural geothermal activity means that spa treatments aren't just soothing, they're healing, earthy, and deeply connected to Maori traditions. Take Rotorua, for example, a town sitting on a geothermal hotspot filled with hot springs, mud pools, and steam vents. Here, locals and tourists alike soak in cedar hot tubs surrounded by forests, letting the mineral-rich waters relax their muscles and calm their minds. But it gets even better. At Hell's Gate, you can bathe in ancient volcanic mud used by Maori warriors for centuries to heal wounds and soothe their spirits. The mud is rich in sulfur, silica, and other minerals that leave your skin feeling incredibly smooth. You can even get mud massages or take part in traditional Maori cleansing rituals. If you want luxury with a view, head to Queenstown, where spa pools overlook snow-capped mountains and mirror-like lakes. And if you're in Wairiki, many spas serve hangi meals, traditional Maori feasts cooked underground using geothermal steam. Most of these experiences cost between $30 and $60, making them affordable, unforgettable, and one of the most unique ways to connect with the Earth's energy. 10. The water is so clean you can drink it straight from the stream. Imagine hiking through a forest, your bottle empty, and instead of worrying, you just kneel down, scoop water from the stream, and drink. That's not a dream in New Zealand. In many places across the country, the water is so clean, so pure, that it's safe to drink straight from the source, particularly in the South Island, around places like Fiordland National Park, Mount Aspiring, and Arthur's Pass. The rivers and alpine streams flow from untouched glaciers and mountains. There's little to no human settlement for miles, meaning almost zero pollution. Locals and hikers have been drinking this water for generations. In fact, some tour guides even encourage visitors to refill their bottles from nature itself. The country is also committed to water purity. New Zealand has strict environmental laws protecting its natural resources. Many of the public water supplies are among the cleanest in the world, especially in smaller towns and rural areas. But beyond practicality, there's something deeply spiritual about it. For the Maori, water or wai is sacred. It's considered a life source with its own energy and Maori life force. In Maori tradition, to protect the water is to protect the people. So yes, in New Zealand, a simple drink from a stream becomes a connection to the land and a taste of something truly unspoiled. 9. A country with no snakes, almost no dangerous animals. If you're someone who jumps at the sight of a snake or panics at every spider, New Zealand might be your paradise. That's because there are no native snakes in the entire country. None. Zero. It's one of the only developed countries in the world that's completely snake-free. How? It's all thanks to its isolation. Since New Zealand split from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana millions of years ago, snakes never made it across the vast ocean. And to keep it that way, the government strictly enforces a ban on importing snakes. Even zoos aren't allowed to have them. But it's not just snakes. New Zealand is also remarkably free of other dangerous creatures. There are no native scorpions, no big cats, no bears, and no venomous land mammals. Even its spiders are mostly harmless. The biggest threat you'll face in nature might be a curious possum or a sheep blocking the road. This makes New Zealand one of the safest places on Earth for outdoor adventure. Families hike through forests without worry. Campers sleep under the stars without fear. And travelers can explore with peace of mind, knowing nature here is stunning but not trying to kill you. Even surfers are safer. Shark attacks are extremely rare, with only a handful of cases in the past century. The ocean is cold in some areas, yes, but it's also some of the cleanest and safest water you can swim in. 8. Home to the world's southernmost capital city. Tucked away at the very bottom of New Zealand's North Island lies Wellington, the southernmost capital city on Earth. And while it might not be the biggest or flashiest capital, it's definitely one of the most charming, creative, and windswept. Locals lovingly call it Windy Welly because of the strong gusts that blow through the Cook Strait. But those winds bring in fresh sea air, and the city's compact geography means everything from sandy beaches to mountain lookouts is within walking distance. Wellington is also New Zealand's cultural and political heart. It's where the New Zealand Parliament meets and where the Beehive, a strange but iconic government building, stands as a symbol of Kiwi democracy. But beyond politics, the city pulses with art and creativity. It's the birthplace of Peter Jackson's film empire, home to Weta Workshop, and a hub for indie film, coffee culture, live music, and quirky street art. The Te Papa Museum, located right on the harbor, is one of the most interactive museums in the world, blending natural history, Maori culture, and hands-on exhibits into one unforgettable experience. Best of all, despite being a capital city, Wellington remains laid back. People walk barefoot downtown, dogs roam free on beaches, and it's completely normal to see someone sipping a flat white while riding a skateboard to work. 7. Maori culture. Alive, respected, and thriving in many countries, Indigenous cultures have been pushed to the margins. But in New Zealand, Maori culture is not just surviving, it's thriving and fully integrated into modern society. The Maori people arrived in New Zealand over 1,000 years ago from Polynesia, guided by stars, ocean currents, and deep knowledge of nature. Today, their traditions shape everything from the names of cities and national parks to the country's official ceremonies, sports teams, and even television programming. At the start of major events including rugby matches, you'll see the haka, a traditional Maori war dance performed with powerful movements and chants. It's become a global symbol of Kiwi strength and pride. In schools, kids learn the Maori language Te Reo Maori alongside English. And in politics, Maori have dedicated parliamentary seats, ensuring their voice is always part of the national conversation. Tourists are often welcomed with cultural performances that include poe dancing, wood carving, and haka demonstrations, but these aren't just for show, they're reflections of a living, breathing culture. Visiting a Marea Maori meeting ground can be one of the most moving experiences in the country. Guests are greeted with a pauhiria traditional welcome ceremony that includes singing, speeches, and the hongi pressing of noses, a symbolic act of sharing breath and spirit. New Zealand is perhaps the only country where Indigenous and colonial identities have blended into something respectful and unique. 6. You can ski and surf in the same day. It sounds impossible, but in New Zealand, You can hit the slopes and the surf in a single day, thanks to the country's unique geography, where snowy peaks rise just a few hours from coastal beaches. Adventure seekers can experience two extreme sports before the sun goes down. Start your morning in Queenstown or Mount Hutt, where winter sports are world-class. The ski fields offer powdery slopes, scenic gondolas, and epic alpine views. After a few morning runs, hop in your car, drive a couple of hours east, and you'll find yourself on the shores of places like Christchurch's Sumner Beach or Kaikoura, where you can paddle out and catch waves as the sun sets behind the southern Alps. In the North Island, you can ski the volcanic slopes of Mount Ruapehu and then head to the black sand beaches of Taranaki or Gisborne, all in a matter of hours. This snow-to-surf combo has become something of a bucket list challenge for locals and tourists. It's also a perfect metaphor for what New Zealand offers, a land where opposites exist side by side, where wild adventures meet calm landscapes, and where a single day can feel like 5 different vacations. And the best part? You don't need a private jet or an expensive tour. Just a rental car, some gear, and a sense of freedom. 5. Glowworm caves that look like a starry night. Deep beneath the green hills of New Zealand lies a secret world, a magical realm where the ceiling glows like the Milky Way. This is the world of the Waitomo glowworm caves, one of the most surreal natural wonders on the planet. Inside these ancient limestone caves, thousands of tiny bioluminescent glowworms hang from the ceiling and walls, casting a soft blue-green light. When you float through on a silent boat ride, the darkness is pierced only by this ethereal glow. It looks like you're drifting through the stars. It's no wonder many visitors say it feels like stepping into a fantasy novel or a dream. These glowworms, known as Arachnocampa luminosa, are found only in New Zealand. They use their glowing threads to lure in prey, but to humans, they create a sight that feels more magical than menacing. The caves themselves are millions of years old, carved by underground rivers. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can go beyond the boat ride. There are black water rafting tours, where you float through the underground rivers in an inner tube, jumping down waterfalls and crawling through tight limestone tunnels, all while glowworms light your path. It's not just a tourist attraction, it's a natural phenomenon that exists nowhere else in the world quite like this. And it captures exactly what New Zealand is: wild, mysterious, and full of wonder. 4. One of the least corrupt and most peaceful countries in the world. In a world where trust in governments often feels low, New Zealand stands out as a beacon of integrity and peace. Year after year, it ranks at the very top of global transparency and peace indexes. According to Transparency International, New Zealand is regularly one of the least corrupt countries on Earth. Government processes are open, the press is free, and public officials are held to high ethical standards. Corruption scandals are rare, and when they do happen, they're taken seriously and dealt with swiftly. In terms of peace, the Global Peace Index consistently places New Zealand in the top 5. There's no internal conflict, very little violent crime, and the country has a strong emphasis on diplomacy and human rights. Police don't even carry guns in most cases because they don't need to. This peaceful environment spills into everyday life. People leave their doors unlocked in some towns. Lost wallets are often returned, and strangers will stop to help you without expecting anything in return. What does this mean for travelers and expats? It means you can relax and feel safe, whether you're walking home late at night in the city or hiking alone in the countryside. And for locals, it means living in a country where fairness, equality, and mutual respect are not just ideals, they're part of the national identity. 3. A land of 30 million sheep and only 5 million people. If you've ever heard a joke about New Zealand and sheep, well, there's truth to it. The country has around 30 million sheep, compared to just over 5 million people. That's a ratio of about 6 sheep for every 1 person. Sheep farming has been a cornerstone of the New Zealand economy for over a century. The rolling green pastures you see in photos, they're not just pretty, they're working farms. Sheep are raised for both meat and world-class wool, and their grazing shapes much of the rural landscape. What's remarkable is how sustainably the industry operates. New Zealand farmers have adopted eco-friendly methods, and many stations, that's what they call big farms, allow free-range grazing over vast open spaces. The sheep are healthy, the land is respected, and the wool is some of the finest in the world. In fact, New Zealand is one of the top exporters of merino wool, which is prized for its softness, breathability, and warmth. Many outdoor clothing brands use it for high-performance gear. This sheep-to-human ratio also adds a unique charm to the country. It's not uncommon to be stuck in traffic because a farmer is moving a flock across the road and people don't honk or rush. They just smile, wave, and enjoy the moment. In New Zealand, the sheep aren't just animals, they're part of the national personality. 2. The cleanest air on Earth can be found here. Want to know what pure air smells like? Go to Cape Grim, at the northwest tip of nearby Tasmania, and then hop over to New Zealand's South Island, in places like Fiordland, Mount Cook, and the West Coast. You'll breathe in some of the cleanest air anywhere on the planet because of its remote location in the South Pacific, far from major landmasses and industrial zones. New Zealand's air is not only fresh, it's scientifically among the cleanest. Winds sweep across thousands of kilometers of open ocean before reaching the shores, carrying air that's virtually untouched by pollution. This isn't just marketing. Global environmental agencies have monitored air quality here for years, and the data backs it up. Towns like Timaru, Invercargill, and Nelson regularly report exceptionally low levels of air pollution. For travelers, this means every breath feels like a detox. Whether you're hiking through a rainforest, standing at the edge of a glacier, or sipping coffee in a small-town cafe, your lungs are getting a break. And it's not just good for humans. This pure air also supports the incredible biodiversity of the islands. From alpine parrots to ancient trees, everything here breathes a little easier. In New Zealand, you don't just see nature, you feel it with every breath. 1. It was the first country to give women the right to vote. While the US and Europe were still debating women's suffrage, New Zealand was already leading the way. In 1893, it became the first self-governing country in the world to give women the right to vote in national elections. This groundbreaking move wasn't just a historical moment, it was the start of a long tradition of progressive, forward-thinking values that define New Zealand to this day. The woman behind the movement? Kate Shepherd, a fearless activist who led the suffrage campaign through petitions, speeches, and relentless organizing. Her efforts changed history, and today her face proudly appears on the New Zealand $10 bill, a national symbol of courage and equality. But this wasn't a what-I'm moment. Since then, New Zealand has had multiple female prime ministers, including the globally respected Jacinda Ardern, who led the country through major crises with empathy, intelligence, and strength. New Zealand's commitment to gender equality continues today, with strong policies around equal pay, parental leave, and leadership diversity. It's a place where women's voices are not only heard, they're central to the national story. This legacy of leadership isn't just inspiring, it's proof that even small countries can change the world in big ways. So there you have it, 15 truly bizarre, unexpected, and/or inspiring facts about New Zealand that prove this little island nation is one of the most unique places on Earth. From the whimsical to the wildly unbelievable, we've seen everything from glow-in-the-dark caves and volcanoes in city centers, to parrots that enjoy stealing windshield wipers, and a beach where you can cook food in boiling sand. But beyond the strangeness lies a powerful truth. New Zealand has managed to blend nature, innovation, indigenous culture, and quirky charm into something that feels almost magical. Whether you're planning to visit, looking for a new place to live, or just love learning about extraordinary parts of the world, New Zealand is sure to leave a mark on your imagination. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this. We explore places, cultures, people, and facts that most travel channels don't talk about. We go deep, we go global, and we always keep it real. Comment below and tell us which of these facts surprised you the most. Would you ever consider living in New Zealand? Or have you already visited and have a story to share?